We are being told that the CCS meeting headed by the Prime Minister has begun, and to talk more about what are the decisions the government of the day could take, I'm joined by Lieutenant General Shah, former Deputy Chief of the Indian Army. I want to begin with you. Do you feel the same as many others are feeling, that this is time to go beyond what we have already done in response to terror attacks, vis-a-vis a surgical strike or an airstrike?
Of course, I strongly believe that punitive action, immediate punitive action, is necessary. I mean, there's talk of planning and such thing. This should have been done earlier. And I'm certain the army has got its plans in place, and there should be no wastage of time in carrying out reprisals.
So
This was a horrendous attack, and there has to be immediate response.
So when you say immediate, just to expand on that, you feel that a response should have already been carried out or should be carried out as immediately as possible. But there's also a conversation about sustained action on Pakistan.
Well, sustained action can follow. But if you want to teach some nation which has spread terror, which has been guilty of 26 fatalities of innocent people, I think the response should have been immediate. And I'm certain the Vice Chief would have got his plans in place and they will be executed.
According to what you're saying, should we expect that an action could be carried out in the next 24 hours, 48 hours? Is that what you mean by immediate?
Well, if the army had done its pre-planning, and I'm sure they would have, I'm certain that the army chief would advise the Raksha Mantri of the action taken. Look, these days, you got drones, you got UAVs. These are meant for immediate response.
Sure.
They should have been on, we've had sufficient warnings.
Sure.
The chief of the Pakistan Army spelled it out 5 days ago. That should have been taken as a warning. We've been having continuous actions against our civilians, against our armed forces. And I am certain that reprisals have been planned, and I have found that the most effective way of carrying out a reprisal is immediate. You must hurt the person immediately. What happens if you delay? It gives the person to give all sorts of excuses. It gives the person time to prepare. So response, I expect it to be immediate.
Yes. And as you very rightly said, all of these plans are made in advance. And certainly all that is needed now is the political go-ahead to carry out such an attack. But I want to understand from you, what do you think would be the best nature of reprisal, the immediate action that you think is absolutely necessary?
The best nature of reprisal is to go in for the guilty, go in for the terrorist organizations, blast them out of existence. That should be the immediate response. Subsequently, you can prolong it, the escalation, but immediate should be the terror camps. We've got them located. I'm certain the army knows where they are. And I'm certain that we're also tracking where the leadership of these camps resides. So immediate action is required against these people. Subsequent action can be better planned and executed.
So can I just press on this further? Not just the terror launch pads, but also the leadership that is given safe haven in Pakistan. Do you think time has come for targeted strikes of those kinds? Because anything that is into Pakistani territory officially, not just POK, will be seen or will be raised to alarm about as an act of war. Of course, India considers this an act of war as well. So do you think that escalation is very much on the cards?
I would feel that if the armed forces have done their homework, which they should have after all these warnings, immediate action is required against the leadership of the terrorists and against their camps.
So just to break down for our viewers, sir, what do you think is the, the way to go about this, which was seen in airstrikes and surgical strikes, beyond that, or a replication of what we achieved then?
No, airstrikes and other strikes can follow.
Okay.
We've got better intelligence. We've got better technology. we have got the information technology, we've got the artificial intelligence. All that has to be harnessed. And the drones are the best answer for an immediate response. That's what I feel. We've got to learn from what the other countries are doing, especially Israel. And my advocacy is an immediate response conveys the best message.
And there is a feeling also that, Pakistan will obviously not learn its lessons with just a singular strike as we have achieved in the past. They have to be reminded again and again. Or maybe time has come, General, where we need to just go all out. Are you in support of that? Is that something India can look at?
Look, going all out will require, in nuclear symmetry, would require very, very careful planning. But I think that an immediate response against the terrorists, the camps, the leaderships, we know where they are, should be taken, and plans should be made. In case there's further escalation, then we are not found lacking.
What do you think is the message that the army chief would be giving to the Prime Minister right now?
If the army chief is worth his salt, I'm sure he would tell the Raksha Mantri, we've already made plans. Give us the okay for execution.
And now this is just about, we're expecting the MEA also to brief us in an hour's time from now. I'm not sure what they're going to announce, but if, what you're suggesting is true, then maybe there could be an announcement of an immediate action that needs to be carried out. But I want to broaden this, Lieutenant General. You talked about General Asim Munir's speech. Hindsight is 2020, but at the time when you heard him, did you think this was a direct attack and some sort of a premonition or an announcement against India?
Well, I analyzed this and I did tweet on X, and I said that there are several reasons. One is that he was playing the Islamic card again. He is weak. He is, but still the de facto ruler of the country. So he wants to play the Islamic card. But I also caution that these religious cards will invariably backfire and bite anybody who puts them into place. So I'm certain that he's strengthening his position. He conveyed a message. We should have taken serious note of it and pre-planned a response.
And Lieutenant General, do you also see this, as many are raising the question, a sort of a security failure? As far the fact that terrorists could come in and carry out such an attack on innocent civilians and tourists?
Well, I'm told that a CRPF battalion was responsible for guarding the perimeter. I don't know why and how they allowed the infiltration into this resort. I cannot point fingers, but in case there's laxity, my experience is whenever there's laxity, the terrorists recognize it, pinpoint it, and act at the weak spot.
Right. Finally, can I ask you, Lieutenant General, before I let you go, people are really fed up as far as this Pakistan problem is concerned. And, this whole action of bleeding us with 1,000 cuts, people feel a country that is so much superior and stronger than Pakistan shouldn't really have to deal with this for much longer. What is your take on a final solution, if I can use that term, for this entire Pakistan terror problem?
Look, firstly, let me work on the reasons why they've done it. Your person has clarified. One is the Prime Minister's absence in Saudi Arabia. Second, the presence of the US Vice President. The immediate aim of Pakistan was to embarrass us.
Yes.
It was triggered to spread disunity in the country. What is happening is innocent Kashmiris are also being targeted now. It is the terrorists who are responsible, but Kashmiris who got nothing to do with the problem. They are wanting to earn bread and butter. The aim was that they are targeted, the Muslims of India. I have seen the social network awash with negative and hate speeches against the Muslims of India who got nothing. They condemn this. In fact, it has been strongly condemned by the whole lot of Muslim parties. But if there's action against the Muslims of India, it would put the country in turmoil and would lead to big problems. So that is also one of the aims, to encourage turmoil in the country, and that should be nipped in the bud, immediate, and then further prolonged by detailed and proper planning and execution.
All right. Lieutenant General Zamiruddin Shah, thanks a lot for joining us and setting the tone as far as our further discussion is concerned. Very clearly, the former Deputy Chief of the Army saying it is time for immediate action. The time is now. And of course, there can be sustained action later on as well.